Hey, where are you going?
Well, we've got a mission.
Okay, I'm coming too. I'm all ready.
Nope. Ladies only.
Why you got the cat?
She's a lady.
Oh, man. Hello and welcome to Random Movie Time. Today's feature is the 2025 action thriller Dirty Angels, directed by Martin Campbell and starring Eva Green, Maria Bakalova, and Ruby Rose. So this tells the story of an almost all-female American commando unit who are tasked with rescuing some kidnapped hostages from all-female school in Pakistan who've been captured by ISIS extremists, and they have to go in and find the girls and kill the leader of the extremists. So what did you think of this movie, Shannon?
Pretty awful. Yeah, it was, I don't know. Well, okay, so let's start with the director, who was Martin Campbell. And he actually is also one of the screenplay writers, according to the credits. He was the director of the James Bond movie Casino Royale, the one with Daniel Craig, the most recent one. And the connection is the main female lead is played by Eva Green, who is also the Bond girl in Casino Royale. So this film had a lot of, you could tell it was kind of, there were some Bond-like elements in it, but it didn't fit. I mean, when you watch a Bond movie, it's a Bond movie because those elements are Bond-like.
Well, if we destroy Kansas, the world may not hear about it for years.
So when you try to make a film dark and gritty and about terrorists, I mean, yeah, okay, Bond movies have terrorists in them, but it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, and it's got like a overall kind of slick, smart, kind of funny way about it, right? This movie was just kind of gritty, and then they just threw in some Afghani taxi driver as a comic relief. And then they named the main character's code name was Jessica Rabbit, but she was supposed to be French Canadian, and so they're like, well, then you should remember to call it Rabbit. But I mean, Eva Green is French, so she should have known it would be pronounced Rabbit, but whatever. Anyway, so Eva Green's in it, who was, as they say, the Bond girl. She was also in 300. She was also a supermodel. Oh yeah, she was in Penny Dreadful, which I only watched like 3 episodes of, but I really liked that. And then you have Maria Bakalova, who played the Borat's daughter in the Borat sequel movie, Borat subsequent movie film.
All I had left was my livestock. 2 pigs, 1 cow, and a daughter.
And then what's her face? Rose.
Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose. She's like an Australian personality. I guess she's a TV presenter and a supermodel. I think I've seen her in something, but the movie wasn't very good, and I have to say it wasn't because of the actors. It was because the script was terrible. So they could have been the best actors in the world, and you would never have known it because they had nothing to work with. It was just, and there was nothing really remarkable about it. None of the cinematography or the style or the script kind of grabbed me. And there were a lot of tropes, tired tropes. This movie was released in 2025. I think it just was on streaming. I don't think it went to the cinema. When I tried to look it up, it didn't come up at all. And I think it had like Oh yeah, it's a 29% rating on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Well deserved. The main character, I guess the background is she was an American soldier. She is an American soldier. And she was captured by ISIS and kept in a cage, and they were gonna stone her to death. And then the American military came by and scooped her up and rescued her in helicopters. And then a couple of her comrades got killed in battle, and she was like really angry that they didn't go back and get the bodies. So a couple years later, you see her in a court-martial. Like she took the helicopter pilot to court because he didn't go back and save the dead soldiers. So that's kind of a repeated theme throughout the movie. Like there are 2 or 3 other times where she gets really mad and she's insistent that they don't leave their people behind and all this crap. She's obviously suffering from, I don't know, it seems like PTSD or some kind of mental problem, because I don't know why they put her on this mission, because she was not ready to go back into the field. Obviously she insists on, like I say, rescuing these dead soldiers. They have a connection in Afghanistan, some general guy who has a house with a garden. There's a nice garden with lettuce and stuff planted in the backyard. What does she do? She insists that they pick up the dead soldiers and they bury the dead soldiers in his nice garden with all the lettuce. Like, really? Why would you do that? And then she keeps digging and digging and digging, and they're like, hey, it's, deep enough. You don't have to dig any deeper. And she was digging because she was traumatized, right? Kept digging and digging and digging, and it's really, really deep. Far deeper than it needs to be, and they threw the bodies in there. And yet there's still a big lump of soil. Like, you think if the grave was that deep, it wouldn't be showing a big lump of soil. But it was. But anyway, I digress. So when she first meets her kind of gang, her troop or whatever, she goes into the room and they're like, oh, I work with all the techie stuff. You can call me geek, because I work with all the techie stuff, and I'm so-and-so because I do all this, so you can call me this. It's like, really? We don't need to hear this tired trope anymore. We don't need this over explanation of everything. I mean, we kind of figured out that you're the techie person. You don't need to call yourself geek and explain why you go around fixing things all the time. Just drawing on a whole whack of tropes very badly. I could kind of see if they were going to do it as like a comedy, like a, as a parody or something like that. Mm-hmm. And if they did it well, then it would work.
Yeah.
There wasn't much substance to the film. And I think they were like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we made this rescue mission and the troop was all women? And they were kind of hanging their hat on that idea. But they didn't take it anywhere. They didn't do anything with it. And then you just have this like cheesy comic relief, which didn't make sense at all. The comic relief bit wasn't funny. And it didn't fit in with the mood of the film. It just didn't make sense. And, there was some character issues there, like the lead, played by Eva Green. She's just bitchy to everybody, like all the time. She's just mean and bitchy. And she's sitting down with one of the guys on her team, an Afghani guy on the team, and he's like talking with her, and she's like being mean and bitchy for like 2 seconds, and he's like, oh, my brother sings in a cover band and he does like all these rock songs. She's like, really? And then she's all of a sudden joking with him, like, just because he said that. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. And unfortunately, I almost like the ISIS guys better than I like the quote-unquote good guys. Because, and that's really awful to say. That really is, because they were awful. But the good guys were just as terrible. And not only were they just as terrible, they were sloppy, they made mistakes, and they were undisciplined. It's amazing that the ISIS guys lost, to be honest. So, I was just trying to find something good to say. I really was. It's disappointing, you know? It really is. What do you say, Tommy?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, the movie was obviously, it was kind of like a gimmick. They were trying to be like the female version of the Expendables. So especially with that intro scene where they're, you know, introducing all the characters. I'm like, I'm the explosive expert and, you know, I'm the tech expert. So you can call me geek and all this. It was like, yeah. And as you said, you know, that kind of humor works better in a James Bond movie because a James Bond movie is sort of supposed to be, you know, a idyllic, sort of romanticized version of reality, where this movie was supposed to be very real. It was supposed to be talking about topical things that actually, horrible things that happen in real life. And so the tone for this movie was all wrong, like trying to inject that kind of humor in it. It really didn't work. And the main characters, Eva Green's character was like, as you said, it was all over the place. Like sometimes she was very shut down emotionally, didn't talk to anybody, didn't want to talk to anybody, and then, you know, out of the blue she'll, like, you know, bond with somebody over something very trivial, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, she's a cool girl. But you know, I don't know, like, I could sort of see some technical competence from the director. Obviously, you know, he has directed these big A-grade movies such as Casino Royale, probably with a different cinematographer though. But, you know, it didn't work as a story, and it was trying to be clever, but it never got clever. And like you say, I'm not surprised that this seems to be like a direct to streaming movie. Like, I never heard anything about this movie before it came up randomly, and it was just something that came up this year on streaming, and it only got 29% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever.
Yeah.
So
one thing though that I forgot to mention that really got me, that kind of annoyed me, was there's this part where the ISIS leader was like, well, okay, listen, we'll let you go, to one of the girls. He said, we'll let you go, and all you have to do is take this note to the Taliban. And she's like, oh, okay. And she goes to the Taliban station. One of the ISIS guy drives her there. She walks in. The Taliban guy opens the envelope, and the message is, this is what you get for betraying your country and for betraying Allah, or something like that. And the ISIS guy jumps out of the car and blows up the car, which proceeds to blow up the corridor where the girl and the two guys and the message are waiting. And it's like, to me, I mean, that message is incinerated. Who's going to know what that message says now? Isn't the whole point that the public should know what the message says? Like,
yeah,
that really bothered me. Just little details like this, like throughout the film, that were just not well thought out.
Yeah, totally. There were all kinds of like little missteps like that. It picked up a little bit once, like, the main part of the extraction story happened, when they were, like, trying to, actually get the girls out of the ISIS camp. But not very much. I mean, at this point, we've all seen action scenes like that, and it just wasn't interesting at all anymore. With that, I could ask you, how many rocket launchers out of 5 would you give this movie?
I was going to say rocket launchers, too. Oh, God. Okay, you know what? I'll give it a 1. 1 rocket launcher, because I think it does deserve a little bit of merit, because it was pretty well directed. It didn't look bad or anything.
It didn't look, yeah.
I mean, there were some choices that I questioned, like in the action scenes, how he directed them. I thought they could have been directed a bit better. But overall, I'll give it that 1, because it looked pretty good. It didn't look amateurish or anything, or B-movie-ish. What about you, Tommy?
Yeah, same thing. 1 rocket launcher out of 5. It was competently directed. You could start to see that CGI thing, I think, ever since the tragedy with the Rust movie. They've haven't been using, ammunition anymore in movies, and so the actors are shooting their machine guns, and the machine guns aren't really moving. So, like, at least tell your actors to, like,
they don't
shake the machine gun a bit, or something. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I would give it 1. It's not a complete waste of time, but it's a pretty boring movie, and I'm really not surprised that we never heard about this movie before until tonight, because it was pretty bottom of the barrel.
Well, that's the great thing about random movies. You never know what you're going to get.
All right. Well, I guess we better catch our Black Hawk helicopter and get the hell out of here. So we'll see you next time on Random Movie Time.